24 handicap, struggling with a fade when it comes to the irons and more of a slice with the driver. So we've got both swings. Going to start with the iron view first. Even though the camera angle is good, the camera will shake a little bit, giving a little bit of a disruption on where that plane might be, but usually when it comes to a directional or a curvature issue, we look at the path and the club face. And from the most general look, the path doesn't look too bad. The face looks like it's delivered decently square, but the third variable does look like a rather Heelish strike as your hips are opening up and that face might be a little open as well. Now relative to the camera and the flag, it looks like you've hit a pretty decent shot here with your 9-iron, but I can see as those clubs get longer, your path that is just cutting it now might not cut it as those clubs get longer and you do get a little steeper alongside your path. So we're actually going to quickly jump over to a comparison here because we're going to watch the trail foot, and I've talked about this move with a couple other videos as well. But our pro Max Homa here with one goal, upright backswing, short position with the elbow tucked, similar to what you do at the top of your backswing, and a similar hip motion coming through. The big difference is where the hand path and the trail foot are at your impact. So he's got the lateral slide pushing the weight more forward and still keeping that club head covering through the hands. So as I said, I don't think your path was a major issue. But when you do run out of real estate with those legs, meaning your legs move in and forcing your hands almost further away from your body as well, you may catch it a little close to the heel. And there is a slight effect that will have on the ball flight, pushing it more from left to right. It is less apparent with the irons and becomes more of a factor with the driver. So just for the notes that you included in this lesson about fading, I don't think you're way far away from what you need to do. Maybe get a little bit more turn in those shoulders and get deeper to the top, but then your specific move will be to stop driving your right knee towards the golf ball and try to get it to work a little bit more towards the target. That should keep that right heel down a little bit longer and then give you some space for those hands to stay inside and for that path to stay inside as well. So it's not a major rehaul with the irons. Let's check out that driver and see if it's a similar motion. So you've got that toe lifted up on the ground, hands a bit low from that setup. Let's just play it through and see where that path wants to go. So it is more to the inside. You've got a better turn and better depth of the arms at the top, although that club has crossed the line a little bit. Hips don't look like they've over pivoted too much either. So now the next move, similar story where you're driving in on those hips. Your hand path is still above the line. And when your hand path is above and your club path is shallow, usually that is met with a slightly open face. But I think that you're again in the territory of not being super far away from what you're doing mechanically, aside from keeping that heel down, maybe keeping your posture away from the early extension, but a slightly open face, a slight steep path, and a slight heel hit are all three things that make the ball want to go more left to right. And when you maybe get one of them or two of them correctly, you hit a mitigated fade. But when you are over the top and open and hit it on the heel, three things that are all going to make that ball go right, and it will stay out there to the right. So I would work the mechanics of your, again, turn to the top. The good thing for you, the good news is that your motions should be fairly similar regardless of the club you're trying to do. So get flatter to get deeper with those hands at the top. Your path is alright. Try to get your hand path closer to the hips on the way down. The club path will follow, but focus on your hands, focus on your elbow, staying down and more inside and closer to the body. And again, like I said, you'll have more space if that heel stays down and does not drive that knee so far in from the top. So good luck, sendaswing.com.